The New York Giants go to London and knock off the Green Bay Packers. And now the Giants are 4-1. And it's another great comeback where the Giants were down 17-3 in the first half, and they held the Packers, in essence, without points in the second half. There was a safety at the end for strategic reasons, but in effect, the Packers, they were held out of the end zone. Just an amazing comeback. And a team that continues to, sustain injuries. Look, Adoree Jackson left this game with an injury, so the Giants were down to, and also getting hurt was Fabian Moreau. So the Giants had out a couple of guys that they picked off of waivers, if you remember, after the roster cuts. Justin Lane and Nick McLeod were their two top corners. So, it just goes to show the coaching staff has been tremendous. It doesn't matter who's out there. They're putting this team in a position to win football games. Daniel Jones, it went about as good as you could have expected. Daniel Jones, not 100%, but was able to lead this team to victory. Saquon Barkley got hurt in this game, but he, again, made a major impact and has just had a sensational first 5 games of the season. Darius Slayton, how he was buried on the depth chart is crazy to me. Considering what was ahead of him, Darius Slayton, look, am I the biggest Slayton fan? No. But he's put up some pretty productive NFL seasons. This is now his 4th season. He came in with Daniel Jones. And look, Slayton, 6 catches for 79 yards today. Oh, he's really your number 1 wide receiver right now. I absolutely believe that. But for the Giants, just a gutsy win against a good Green Bay Packer team. And even though this was a neutral game, and even though it's better that this game was in London than Lambeau Field, don't get me wrong, this is a pro-Packers crowd. Why? I'm not 100% sure. But this felt like a road game. Again, I'm not saying this is like Lambeau Field, but it also was not neutral. The Giants had a lot to work with, work against, and just it is remarkable. And the NFC East now, it went from NFC least to NFC beast. Washington, not so good, but you have the Eagles at 5-0 and the Cowboys and Giants at 4-1. No one could have ever predicted that. Now, the Cowboys play the Eagles next week, so at least someone has to lose there. But, for the Giants to be 4-1, it's great. Obviously, you lose to the Cowboys. That hurts. Obviously, a divisional rival, a key divisional game. You don't want that, but you're signing up for 4-1 every time. And it could be argued. Look, home against the Panthers, that's an easy game. Home against the Bears, pretty easy game. And so, look, at the Titans, that's a solid win. It's not an amazing win, but it's a pretty solid win for a team like, who was very good last season. But you get this adds credibility. Beating the Packers against Aaron Rodgers, and do I think that this Packer team is all that great? No, I don't. But that really, now you become a team that's worth being taken seriously as a potential playoff contender. And look, we're 5 games through the season with 12 to go. There's a lot of season remaining. And I think next week versus the Baltimore Ravens will go a long, long way in how I view this team. If the Giants can somehow beat the Ravens, which it's not impossible, but it's one of your tougher games on the schedule. If the Giants can beat the Ravens, then the conversation turns into something else. Because, and Brian Daboll, I think, if you had to do an early poll for Coach of the Year candidates, Daboll's got to be up there. And Mike Kafka seems like a bright young mind that really has the ability to maybe become a head coach one day. He's that good. Kafka, who the Giants got from the Chiefs, has been excellent. And Wink Martindale, who, just a couple seasons ago during the Joe Judge search, the Giants interviewed him as for a head coaching job. So it'll be interesting to see Wink against the Ravens. There's a familiar ground there. On the flip side, look, John Harbaugh and company, kind of knows what Wink is up to. So it's a two-way street. But this Giant Packer win, it feels like the biggest win that we've had I guess since 2016. I guess probably since 2016 when but yeah, I mean, maybe even better in some ways. Remember, the Giants were an 8-point underdog heading into this game. And while I think that was a bit much, you can understand why that might have been. But I think Daniel Jones, the uncertainty there was the key. But time of possession was really in the Giants' favor. And good on the third down offense, 6 for 11. That's really good. And, the Giants, they held strong. And the Giants, they didn't turn the ball over. We'll talk about one instance where they came close on special teams, which could have changed the game around, where the ball went off of Jason Pinnock. But it's not as if the Giants' defense, as good as the Giants' defense has been, the Giants don't have any interceptions this year. If memory serves me correct, they don't. What the Giants also did was they ended their streak, their scoreless under 2 minutes in the first half streak, done now. They finally scored. So that was nice. And that was a Daniel Bellinger touchdown. But let's just get into, the play-by-play of this game. And the Packers jumped out to a really nice start in this game. And it looked like, the Green Bay was going to win. It did. And in terms of injuries, Azeez Ojulari was out, which is unfortunate. I thought Kayvon Thibodeau, there was some moments, I want to see some more from him, but we'll give him we'll cut him a little bit of slack for now. Aaron Robinson is out at least 4 weeks. So look, that cornerback situation, it's rough. It's rough. I think if I look at certain position groups, wide receiver definitely and cornerback are two that definitely need to be addressed somehow. Leonard Williams was out again. And Dexter Lawrence has really showed out. While Leonard Williams has been out, Dexter Lawrence has stepped up big time. So first drive, Green Bay, pretty decent job. The big play, a 3rd and 8 conversion, as it's Aaron Rodgers to Randall Cobb. And we've heard that combination connect before. Unfortunately, to the dismay of Giant fans, we've seen that combination. 35-yard reception for Cobb. And that eventually sets up the Packers for a Mason Crosby 46-yard field goal. Then the Giants go 3 and out. And it was a lot of trying to force it to Barkley. It almost feels like the Giants try to lull the opponent to sleep, or kind of trick them, because the game plan has at least it evolves. However it is, I'll take it. But the Giants coaching staff makes the right adjustments, or it's predetermined. Either way, so they go 3 and out. The Giants, then the Packers go 3 and out. To the Giants' defense's credit, but then the Giants, they go 3 and out again, and it's really forcing the ball to Saquon. And then Green Bay starts out with decent field position and gets it going. And a key play here was a very questionable defensive pass interference call on Xavier McKinney. Robert Tonyan, they were jockeying for position, and I think they should have let that one go. They don't. And so you have first and goal at the 4, and eventually it's Rodgers to Allen Lazard for a 4-yard touchdown, gives the Packers a 10-0 lead. The Giants do respond with points, and that was important. And Daniel Bellinger gets an 11-yard reception, which causes a first down. But the Giants, eventually they kind of get stood up, but luckily a 48-yard field goal is good by Graham Gano. And now the offense on both sides really starts to take over. And the Packers, as we head into the second quarter, the Packers get going. Pretty efficient, good drive by Green Bay, which leads to a 2-yard touchdown. Aaron Rodgers to Mercedes Lewis. Mercedes Lewis, the veteran tight end, was wide open in the end zone. And it gives the Packers a 17-3 lead. But the Giants are able to respond. And that's the key, is that the Giants, at every turn, I say this in baseball as well, and it applies in all sports, but the possession after to at least get points is very critical. And so the Giants put together a really nice drive, and this is the one where it leads into them scoring within under 2 minutes. Richie James gets involved a bit in this drive. A key first down conversion, Jones to Richie James for 15 yards. And then Darius Slayton with a really nice first down as well. So we head to the 2-minute warning. And on second goal at the 2, it's a double reverse, which ends up in Daniel Bellinger scoring a rushing touchdown. That's the creativity that I'm talking about. The Giants, it's just different than it's been in the past. And besides Saquon, who is of course a star, you're not dealing with a star-studded lineup, but they're still being creative and it's working. So the Giants make it 17-10. Unfortunately, the Packers do, and you kind of figured this might happen. The Packers at the time had all 3 timeouts remaining. They do drive the field, and they do end up with a Mason Crosby field goal. So it's 20-10 at half. But the Giants come out, they get the ball first, and they score points. It's a Darius Slayton 14-yard reception, then a 13-yard catch, and a tough false start on Ben Bredeson. 3rd and 3 at the 17. The Giants were looking to score a touchdown. A Bredeson false start kind of messes that up, and so they settle for a 37-yard field goal by Graham Gano. Makes it 20-13. Then the Packers have an opportunity to get something going, but a really key sack by Dexter Lawrence. 3rd and 8 at the Giant 36. Packer up by 7. Third quarter is winding down a bit, and you're in field goal range, and Dexter Lawrence takes them out of field goal range. So the Giants then put up a really impressive 15-play, 91-yard drive that goes 8 minutes and 7 seconds. And this was a drive where Saquon Barkley gets injured early in the drive as well, like first play, in fact. But the Giants are able to get it going. Matt Breida with a really key 13-yard reception from Daniel Jones to kind of get the Giants out of bad field position. Daniel Jones is able to get involved in the run game, which was nice to see. Daniel Bellinger, the first down, on a 3rd down and 4. We go to the fourth quarter, and more Daniel Jones, Marcus Johnson, who the Giants were really thin at receiver. But Marcus Johnson, who's been around, he was on the Titans recently. He was on the Colts for a little bit. Johnson, gets a nice catch, and eventually it's Gary Brightwell. Gary Brightwell, who seems to be more of the short yardage back, gets a 2-yard touchdown to tie it up at 20. And then the Giants, very key, they get a 3-and-out. And so the Giants end up with really good field position. Now, it goes off of Jason Pinnock, but luckily the ball goes out of bounds, so no harm, no foul. And the Giants put together a winning touchdown drive pretty efficiently as well. And Saquon Barkley returns and makes a really nice play, a 41-yard catch and run. Great job by him. And the Giants' running game overall is really – I know that was a reception, but the running game overall really good. Breida, Jones, doesn't matter who it is. And so the Giants have a great opportunity, and they do cash in on a Saquon Barkley 2-yard touchdown run. And that makes it 27-20. And now the Packers have a chance to tie it or maybe take the lead if they somehow chose to go for 2. The Packers are able to move the ball. Robert Tonyan, 14-yard reception. Randall Cobb, 9-yard catch for a first down. Aaron Jones gets in the mix. Alan Lazard, Romeo Dobbs. And so the Giants are in a tough spot. And we go to the 2-minute warning. And at this point, the Giants have all 3 timeouts. And the Pack, I believe at this point, have 2 timeouts remaining. And it starts off good for them. Aaron Jones, a 7-yard run. Then Aaron Jones, a 2-yard run. So it's 3rd and 1 for the Pack, and the Giants 6. And at this point in my head, I'm thinking, all right, and the Giants did call a timeout with a 1:11 left. So I'm thinking, all right, if they score, hopefully there's enough time where the Giants can maybe drive down and get a game-winning field goal or something. But the Giant defense and Wink Martindale really come through, and some pass deflections. Aaron Rodgers tries to find Randall Cobb, but Thibodeau, I believe, was the one who got a hand on it. It's up in the air for a while. Unfortunately, Tay Crowder tried for the interception, doesn't get it. And then 4th and 1, same sort of thing. Xavier McKinney gets in there. And I think next to McKinney might have been Julian Love. Like, there was a lot of pressure there. They try to go a quick pass to Alan Lazard, and McKinney knocks it down. So at this point, the Giants are in good position to win. But it wasn't over yet. There was 1 minute and 2 seconds or so remaining, and they take some knees, 3 kneels by Daniel Jones, and I understand why they did it. I understand also that it's a bit unsettling for the Giants to do that when a first down ends it. But I in that situation where that there's not going to be that much time left anyway, you don't risk the fumble. Not a whole lot's going to come out of that. You know the Giants are running anyway. It's a good move. And then on top of that, the Giants, they take a safety, which was good for many reasons. It shoot off more clock, and it puts the Giants in a better position from a field position standpoint. So Gillen with a really nice punt. Packers start off at their own 41, and then there's a false start by Bakhtiari. So now it's 1st and 15, and it takes a miracle, and the Giants get in there. It's actually a fumble. O'Shane Zimenez is the one that gets home. And I really feel like Zimenez and Jihad Ward have been putting in some really good work for the Giants. Considering expectations, done a pretty good job. So the Giants finished with this 27-22 victory. I can't say enough about this team. I'm very impressed. I still don't think the personnel is great. The injuries are there. But I think, again, between Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka, Wink Martindale, they're in good hands, and that goes a very long way. So now comes a fun matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, this division, it's strong. You got the Eagles playing the Cowboys next week on Sunday Night Football in Philly. And the division's tight, but really for me right now, I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at it so much like that. I just want this team to make the playoffs. And I think that if it joins with the Ravens, I think that really becomes a reality to really discuss. It's still a little bit too soon. As good as this win was, I've seen things before. I've seen this too many times where, in a football season, it's in segments. So if you can beat the Ravens, though, then I think you can more freely talk about it. And the scenarios and the teams and stuff like that. But for now, really going to enjoy this Packer win. They come home from London. It won't be easy against a really stingy, maybe stingy is the wrong word, but a battle-tested Raven team with some really good pieces. And it won't be easy, but I'm very excited to see what will happen. MetLife Stadium should be pretty into it. And so, Ravens visit the Giants. The 3-2 Ravens take on the 4-1 Giants. And wow, does that feel good.